Welcome to Let's Connect on this wonderful Tuesday evening. It is Tuesday, April 26th. We want to start off with some shout outs this afternoon. We want to give a special shout out to those persons joining us from Fort Saint Jacques, especially those of you in the communities of Mini and Belvedere, Saint Philip and Boisden, obviously. We want to give a special shout out to Belfort, Deville, Espérance, Belle Plaine, Fort Jalib, Mon-Lacroix. Big up to you guys down in Chateau Bel-Air. Welcome to the program. Those of you from Zeno, Colnabet, Sulphur Springs, good evening. Those of you coming to us from Focaco, Diamond, Bouton, Etangs, Margaret Tooth, Market Road, Palmis. Want to give a special shout out to Miss Luciana Serville of Palmis. Want to shout out the persons down in Forbenier crew. Those of you coming from New Development, we want to give a special shout out to Mr. Edward D'Souza, wishing you very, very speedy recovery, coming from all of us down at the Super Constituency Office and from the Honorable Emma Hippolyte as well. We want to shout out those of you in Wingsville, Church Street, Smoke Hill, the Gulf. Those of you down in Lenny's Hill, welcome to the program. And a big shout out to everybody coming from Barron's Drive this evening. Today we have a very special guest joining us, and I want to employ everybody listening that you give her a very good listening ear because she has an important message to deliver. I want to say a special good evening to Miss Terry-Ann Compton. Good evening, Terry-Ann. Welcome to the Let's Connect program. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. You look gorgeous. Nice to see
you. Thank you.
Thanks so very much for coming on my show. I have been talking to you for a little bit and I was so excited to have you on. You're going to be closing out our Youth Month program for us. So thank you so very much for joining us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your background, where you come from, where you grew up. Give us a little bit of your background details.
Okay, so I am Terry-Ann. For persons who don't know me, I'm Terry-Ann Compton, and I'm coming from the beautiful island of St. Lucia, and I am 40 years of age. I grew up from the most talented community of Palmis, which a lot of people refer to it as a ghetto. We have a lot of talented people there, and I'm very, very proud to be coming from this community. I grew up in Palmis from the age of 5. I've been living in Palmis. Started living with my grandmother when she was, she helped out my mom with me. So she had me at the age of 5. So I grew in Palmis. So my family is very small. When I say family, I speak about like my mom, my grandmother, and my brothers and myself. So we have a small family, and growing up in Palmis, I've learned a lot. Sometimes they say school education is very important, which is true, but also street education is really, really important. And I adapt a lot of things from this community of Palmis by growing there. I was able to adopt a lot of things, like, learn how to hustle. I knew about the struggles. I knew about everything. So it's like you getting set and ready to go out there. That's if you want to go further with that. So, yes. That's
okay. Well, definitely big up to the Palmis community. Definitely, like you said, a lot of talent coming out of Palmis. Case in point being yourself and your brother Donatan. Both of you have exhibited such a tremendous talent. And I want to big up another local talent in terms of baking from that same community. Give up a big shout out to Jerick of Palmis, who is doing big things in terms of baking. I want to give a shout out to him. The community, close-knit persons, and like you said, you end up gaining a lot of street smarts. So that's definitely something that you found useful growing up, that you were able to get not just education in school, but a bit of, like you said, almost like the ghetto influence in terms of getting you the street smarts that you needed in terms of coming to where you are right now.
Yes.
Okay, so where do you live now? What's your life like now?
Okay, so back in 2018, well, before that, I worked on the with the cruise line. So I did 7 years with the cruise lines, and back in 2018, I decided that I would definitely want to change, and I'm not afraid of changes. So I always want to try something new, and I am never afraid to take that shot. So I decided that, I wanted to feel change. I wanted to change a lot of things, like especially, the way I live. Because back home, like, I had a lot of, sometimes when you're used to doing something, so sometimes you're gonna get yourself involved in stuff that you shouldn't be um engaging in, and all of these things. So, everybody, we make mistakes and we have a lot of bad habits. And that's one of the things that some of the things that I wanted to change, because in life, if you don't decide to change at a certain point in your life, you're not gonna get anywhere. So I wasn't a bad person, but I had a lot of habits. I'm a human. So um so I decided to move here in Brooklyn, which wasn't something planned. I was only here for vacation, and so be it, things happen. Then
Okay.
I was left to just making the decision of staying here and trying to see what I can do, not just staying there where just to, just for the title of saying that I am in New York City. I stayed there because I wanted to change a lot of things. I wanted to accomplish a lot of things, and most times you will not be able to get the encouragement, and you will not be able to get a lot of the resources and stuff that you would need to, you know, to go along with what you want. And I love St. Lucia. I am very proud to be a St. Lucian, but sometimes we don't get that in our own place. So I always believe in changes. You never forget where you come from, but you have to make that change. So you can change, you could leave and come back, but you have to leave at a point in time to make the change. So that was one of the things. So right now I am here in New York ever since 2018.
Okay. Well, I can anticipate that that was definitely a tough decision to make because, like you said, I love Saint Lucia as well. I can't imagine having to be away from Saint Lucia for too long. But then, like you said, sometimes we do need to make a change and make a move just so that we can do better. So I definitely want to congratulate you on achieving that sort of realization and moving forward with your life. So, in terms of you living now in New York, what do you do now? Is it better than the life you had in Saint Lucia? Is it something that is it better than you expected? Is it harder than you expected?
Okay, so first and foremost, easy is not an option, and easy is not written anywhere. So anywhere in the world that you go, you have to face struggles, you have to go through things. I am currently a nanny. I've been a nanny ever since I came here. And trust me, even with the jobs, I've gotten some really, really tough jobs. But if you don't have a mind of a tiger and somebody who who wants better, and to to make things better for them, New York City is not a place for you. It sounds like a place for vacation, but it's really not. So you, especially, I don't have family members here where I could actually say, okay, it's not like the community where you could say, all right, well, I need some sugar. Let me go and ask auntie for some sugar or something. It's not
Right.
like that. It's like more of an independent move. You have to be very on and steady and go for what you want. So it's not been, I would not say it's a bed of roses, but I am thankful that I have not been, in a situation where I'm struggling. That is always the best part. I am not struggling even through the pandemic, whilst everybody was, out of a job, and they're worried, people suffering there and there, I was still able to work. Even if I was sick or not, I had to do it because here in America it's different. You have to pay rent. You have to always ensure that you on the move. This is not a place to relax. It's not Airbnb. So you have to be able to do things on your own. Because even if I had family here, you still cannot depend on family because the family members also, they have their lives, they have their jobs, they work so many jobs to try to pay the bills. So you cannot just afford to come here and play like it's a vacation. So
Right.
it's different, but it's okay.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to hear that you've been able to maintain and thrive, especially throughout the pandemic. And I know being a nanny is not easy. I spent a 1 month babysitting, and I don't think I can be able to do it as a job. You have to have a lot of patience, you have to have a lot of energy. So I definitely can understand that it's not something what you would consider easy. So what would you contribute? What would you consider the thing that's your guiding light? What's giving you the strength? What's giving you the ability to focus and to keep up the determination and to be able to thrive in that sort of environment?
So I would say my family. So my family means a lot to me, and then I always see that I am they say the godmother of the family. So I am always, knowing where I came from and how it is like with my family and how we struggle and everything. So it's my responsibility now to make the difference, to pave the way and set the trends for them, to not make everything perfect because I cannot make everything perfect, but a better life. And also my daughter, she's one of the reasons why I have something to live for. I have to do something. I have to change something. If today or tomorrow something happens to me, she could get something. So family is the main thing here for me.
That's definitely a great driving force to have, especially when you have a daughter, and such a beautiful way to, give her all the determination by being determined yourself and using her as your guiding force in terms of life. So you have written a book. Can you tell us a little bit about it? What's the title? How long did it take you to write it?
Okay, so this is the actual book here. Um, so the title is Inspire, I Overcame. Oh, I tried to get the cover. I Overcame. So this book, it's filled with all my challenges and everything that I went through in life. Well, not everything, because I cannot put every detail in this book. This book is not going to be enough to share a lot of things, but I chose the most interesting ones, the most challenging ones, and those that, had me to change, those that contributed a lot to my life. So it's based on a true story. It's based on all the challenges that I had to face, and basically my whole life. I would say my whole life is in this book. And I actually started this book in 2020 during the pandemic, when I started my motivational videos where I had my interviews with people, like, because back then I grew up witnessing a lot of people like criticizing, judging persons, and without even knowing their story, with just with the overall look of myself, I would see, like, people don't even know, like, for instance, they will say, oh, I hear she do something and I see she doing this and that, but they don't really know why you're doing that. Most times people don't do stuff because they want to, actually. Sometimes people do things because they're hurt. People do things because they don't have, like, they don't have, and they're trying to meet ends. People do things, so, like, there is a reason why everybody does something. And I never liked the criticism and the judging of any individual. So in 2020, I started the live shows where I would bring on people that was once judged, like, by society, and people would fabricate all stories without even knowing their true story. So I remember I started with this young lady, Sarah Lee, and which she was one of them that society always talks about, and because of the way she carries herself. And I was like, let me try something. I wonder if she's gonna accept to do an interview with me. So that's how it all started. And she said yes. She said, I always wanted somebody to listen to my story. So you see, you always have people, they want to share the story, but they cannot share the story because of what people already saying about them. So,
Right.
we go by, we are afraid to do stuff because of society. What will they say? I'm doing this, maybe they will say this and that. So we work based on what people say. So, I started that way. She came on and she shared her story. And I guess most persons understood why she is the person she is. And it's not by force. That's just that's just how she realized. She maybe believed that's the person she can be because of her past, which is not the person she can be. I always tell her she could be more than that. So I started writing my, like, one day I just came, I started writing. First, I started writing on a notebook. And then when I was like halfway in the notebook already, and I was like, okay, but what sense would it make? When I have to give to the editor, I still have to put it back on the, at least type it up again. So I started, typing from the start. And then the thing is, I reached out to a few persons about the book. And, at the time, not everybody is interested in anything that you do. So you will get that. That is one of the you will get. Not everybody is interested in what you want to do. You could tell them, they will be like, oh, that's a good idea. But, they finished with that already. Some of us will be discouraged by that. But you cannot, one thing I learned, but I was discouraged at that time. That's why I stopped in 2020. I stopped the shows. I stopped everything because I was feeling discouraged. Like I wasn't getting the support or the push that I wanted. But for the shows, one of my team members, the main one, he went invisible up to what they like to do. We don't know where he is, but so all that was very discouraging. So I stopped off everything. But even if I stopped, I never gave up on it. That was just something I always wanted to finish, but it wasn't on my agenda anymore. And I started, doing my business like Candy School just to get over it, because I will not just get over it and just not be doing anything. So I looked for something else to do, and I started the business. And you know,
What is this school's business?
Candy School business was like packages I would create. So for birthdays, anniversaries, any occasion, I would create, and I would be doing pre-orders from my end. The customer would order from back home. I prepare the shipment and I send back home. We provide delivery. So that was a very good business. Which it was successful. I had customers, but it was very frustrating. It was very frustrating to a point that um, I am running the business, but I am not actually making the monies I'm supposed to. So, but for me, it wasn't like a money making thing. I just wanted to make people happy. So, because growing up as a little girl, I always wanted, things from overseas and nice things, and so I see myself in New York, and then I would be like, oh, people back home, like I always think of people back home. I don't know why, but people back home would love that. So I would
That's a
create
good thing, yeah.
I would create things and then give them very reasonable price, and which is not the price. So very reasonable price, and they would love the package. All I want is just them to be happy. So I was doing that, but it became frustrating because I had like sleepless nights, and it's a lot. It's a lot of work plus a lot of money being spent in these things. So, but it wasn't just that. It was just I was very, very frustrated. I was missing something, but I didn't realize what I was missing until after the last project in December. I announced to my customers that this would be the last one. Well, I said it was the last for Father's Day last year, but then I still did Christmas. And then I changed my number. I changed my number because I wanted a peace of mind, like to
Mm-hmm.
just find myself and try to
Center.
understand what's going on. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
then I said, I started connecting with God. I always connect with God, but normally the way we connect with God is just wake up today, say thank you, God, and that's it. And we are about our busy. Sometimes 3, 4 days we never even say thank you, God. We forget to pray because we always busy.
Mm-hmm.
So I said when the year started, I went before God and I prayed to Him and I said, Father, I want you to tell me what to do this year. I'm not gonna do anything because I always want to do so many things. And I said, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna relax. You gonna do this for me this year. So 2 weeks after I went to work, and then I got the feel of the book, and I was feeling so nervous, and I was like, the book, because it was out of ordinary, like the book. Why? Why the book? So I said, God, are you telling me that I have to finish the book? And right away, I started going looking for help online in different groups that I am in New York, asking, can I is there any way I could get somebody that could help me, because I'm trying to finish my book, etc. So they will, share different links where I could people. And then out of the blue, there was just this one very, very, very kind and loving sister. She just pop up in my messenger, and I was like, but I don't know on a personal level. I just probably know her because I maybe seen her face back home.
Mm-hmm.
And but she was somebody that I recognized, that always she was always one encouraging us on Facebook. Like, out of the blue, she would say, I am very proud of this young lady and her brother, Donathan. And she believed that God has something for us in our family and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I knew her, just as an encourager out on my platform. So she
Right.
came in, my inbox. I think she commented underneath a story. And then I said, Hi, how are you? She said, Thanks for asking. And then she said, we just started talking about different things. She said, Why did you stop the show? And these kind of things, like it was a good thing going on. And I started, sometimes you just waiting for somebody to ask you something to just drop everything for them. So I told her how frustrating I was, and I wasn't getting the courage that I needed and all of these things. And she, right away, she was, when I told her about the book, she was like, you know that's her passion. She always wanted to be a writer as well as herself. So, like that was just a connection right there. And in no time, like, she worked with me, and in a less than 1 month, we completed the book. We completed the book in less than 1 month, a book that was there in 2020. Because I had the draft already. All I needed was to restructure, like, because the way I wrote it, it would have been so raw that I think not even a Christian would be able to read it, because it was
Mm-hmm.
very, very raw. So, we restructured it, and within 1 month, everything was done. And when it was time for me to look for a publisher, everything was just a connection. So that's why I believe that. Oh yes, and this young lady, her name is Janelle Knight. I think, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name
Yes, it's
correct.
Janelle Knight. I know her very well. Big up to Janelle Knight of New Development.
Janelle,
Mm-hmm.
she's been my encourager. She's been, like, there for me, like the whole day. She'll ensure that, hey, make sure. So I really had somebody that was on to me, and that's what we need sometimes. We need people to push us. And I'm very, very thankful that she was being obedient, because that didn't just happen. That didn't just happen. And I always say that prayers changes a lot. And most of us, we forget to pray, and we think that it's a joke. It's not a joke. Prayers changes a lot. And from the time I started connecting with God, in just the 3 months, if I have to tell you the amount of things that worked and opened for me, the amount of doors that opened for me, it would be unbelievable. Which is
I get
not,
it.
and
God
which
is
is,
all the
here
time.
is not some place I will share every single thing, but prayers changes everything.
Amen. Just want to take a moment to shout out all those of you in our Facebook live chat. We want to say good evening to Classy Willow Prosper, Sheldon Lionel, Miss Kulina Joseph. That's Terry Ann's mom. Thank you for joining us on our live chat. Melanie Hippolyte, Miss Teresa Wilfred. We want to give a special shout out to Adelta Bowens coming and join us all the way from St. Vincent, always locked on to us. Thank you so very much for being here. We have a few comments in the chat as well. I have a question there, but I think I'll ask it a little later because I want us to get more into the book. We have a lot of persons giving their support to you, Terry, and in our chat we have
Thank
Wayne
you.
Samuel who says they're happy for you. We have Mr. Prosper, Goodwin Prosper, saying blessings upon you. And Geraldine Taylor wanted to know if you were going to continue with the sweet this year. And we have a lot of persons supporting you in our chat. Your brother has joined us. Hi, Jonathan. Welcome to the Let's Connect chat. Thanks for joining us. So I do have like I said, I do have a question here. I'm going to ask it in a little bit, but I want to get more into the book. So we know that it took you only I'm astounded that amount of time that it took you to finish the book in a month. Big up once again to Janelle Knight for all her support of you. So what is the main idea behind the book?
Okay, so the main idea behind the book is to inspire people all around the world that is maybe going through whatever they're going through in their lives. Most times we get people who go through who like they go through something from like hard times and struggles, and they believe that they're the only ones going through these things, and they believe that it's the end for them, and they believe that they think of the worst things of themselves. But
Right.
I wanted to use my story to inspire people, not just reading what I went through, but understanding what you're going through, and there is a reason why you go through things. And also you have to also find the silver lining in every dark cloud in your life. And within every theme, I also acknowledged God in everything. Like there is scriptures that aligns every situation that I went through. So, you know, the book is just how I would say it. The book is just like, a manual as well, a manual to guide people that might be broken. They might be living silently how many years they cannot speak about what they're going through. They think that it's okay to be in the situation that they're in, and it's not. They think that where they are, that's the final place for them, and they cannot go anywhere because they might not have money, and they might not have the education, and they might not have the people. But if you believe in yourself, and you believe in prayers, and you believe in God, everything is going to be okay, and everything is going to work out. So that is the main idea behind my book. And people also, they will listen to you when they hear about your situation, your experience. So if I come here and I speak to you and I'm like, oh, my cousin was going through something, and and maybe you're going through the same thing, but you will not take me on because I am telling you about somebody, right? But I come to you and I said, listen, I was in that relationship and it was very toxic, but you don't have to stay there, and you can get out because I got out. You will listen to me. You
Right.
understand? So the best way to inspire people and motivate them is by using your own experience to speak to them, and they would listen. So this is the whole idea of my book, to share my story, also to help others, to help them become the better version for themselves, for the better version of themselves, because that is not the end for them.
Well, Terry, and that is definitely one of the most inspiring things I've heard in a while. And I can see that I think I did see some of your shows before, and I can see where you've gone from the show with the book. I can see the path that you're going down in terms of inspiring persons. And I definitely want to give you a big kudos on that because it's a wonderful thing that you're doing. I want to ask if, without giving too much away about the book, what are some of the struggles that you detail in the book? You don't have to give us all, maybe give us a couple of them so that we can inspire others to purchase the book. Once again, Terry Ann Compton's book is called Inspire, I Overcame. So if you could just give us a little bit of what's in the book without giving us too much information.
Okay, so a few struggles that I spoke about. I spoke about teenage pregnancy, with me getting pregnant at an early age at school, just before CXC. So I spoke about that, the hardship with it, but it's also not something to deter where you're gonna go, because a child is not supposed to be a final place for you. And I spoke about betrayal, betrayal of friends, and when you need friends the most in certain situations in your life. That I spoke about betrayals, like everything I went through, and I will be speaking about different situations that I went through and where you needed the friends the most and nobody wasn't there. So I spoke about my toxic relationship, which is the biggest and the longest theme in my book, is about the toxic relationship at 15 years. Um, I spoke about me battling with witchcraft. So I was dealing with witchcraft at the age of 12, where I almost lost my life. But, um, also
Powerful stuff, yeah.
at the age of 5, my childhood, like what I learned from my mother and my grandmother. So all these things, I spoke about the struggles we went through, like our living status. It wasn't easy, but we were indeed content, and we made it. I spoke about, what did I speak about? I write a few days. So I spoke about some of the bad things that I did. I would say bad because that's it is bad. So some of my mistakes, and I spoke about it. So I am somebody, I don't like to sugarcoat anything, and I am never ashamed of my past, because your past is what makes you. You have to make mistakes to learn. So I didn't just speak of maybe the things to make people feel sorry for me, or because I'm not looking for sympathy. That's why I said I overcame it already. So I did share some of the things that I did, and what's the reason, and sometimes it's okay to make mistakes, and what I went through, and what were the challenges, and all of these things. So the book covers basically a lot of things. I have 18 themes in my book. 18,
Wow.
it's 18 themes.
Okay, so I think it's time for us to look at the question posed in the chat. So Sheldon Lionel, was asking, are you ready to come back home and invest in your community?
Oh yes, definitely. Definitely that is something that I would love to do. But I also have to work on myself first. There is a lot of changes that needs to be done. And definitely I am always a back home person. Like, I'm in America, but my mind is always back home. And my boyfriend would always say that, like, you're in America, but your mind is still in St. Lucia. So anything I come across, any plan I have, St. Lucia, so um my goals and my dream of where I see myself, it's definitely gonna be my community is definitely gonna be part of it.
Awesome, awesome. Someone in the chat, Wayne Samuel, wants to know how can they get your book? How can they buy your book? Let us know some details in terms of how persons can get a copy.
Okay, so right now I am doing a project. Well, I call it projects because it's from my last business candy school. So we call it projects where you pre-order with me. When I get all the orders, like I have a deadline. So for the book for solution, the deadline is the 30th of this month to get all the orders. These orders is on based on the first release. So I'm actually gonna be signing the copies of the book. So because I'm not home, so I will not be able to do a book signing back home. So I'm giving persons the opportunity to get like a first release copy from me with my autograph. So I'm gonna be signing all the books, like all the orders. I prepped some packages, which is already closed. My package was Inspire Her 2. So it's an Inspire Her 2 package where you get the copy of the book, you get a scented candle with my logo, you get a pen with my Inspire 2, the email address, you get a box with some goodies, you get a mini notepad with a motivational quote on there, you get a motivational reminder card with a note I will leave there so you could keep in your purse or wherever you carry it with you. Also, you're gonna get a snack in the box. So that was the box, which it's already closed, so I'm not taking any orders for that again. But those who want just the copy of the book and nothing else, it's still open for just the book where you could order with me, and it's gonna be part of that order. So by month end next month, we're expecting the shipment to be home already, or at least the first week in June for the latest. Um, if you missed out on this project, you could get the book off Amazon. Amazon has the book for $21.99. But with me, I would like if you get the book from me on that shipment, you get the book only for like $50 flat. And I am taking care of the shipment. You're not gonna be paying any shipping and any clearing. So that is another advantage of if you order with me on in that project.
Right. So how can they reach you? Is it over Facebook? Is it on what platform can persons contact you to make their orders?
So you could reach out to me on Messenger. We have a flyer outside on my page, that Gilterian, where it has my number as well, my phone number, the bottom of the flyer. So you could reach me out. You could reach out to me on WhatsApp or on Facebook.
Okay, so your Facebook page is called That Girl Terian.
Yes, or my
Okay,
my
Terian is
personal profile.
Terian.
Terian.
Okay, so
No,
persons can reach out to you on your
yes,
Facebook page.
yes, and also my personal profile, Terian Compton.
Okay, so we have two ways to reach you on Facebook: on your page, which is That Girl Terian, and also on your personal Facebook page profile, which is Terian Compton. Compton is Compton.
Yes,
Okay, and also you said the price of the book on Amazon is $21.99, and the title of the book is Inspire I Overcame by Terry Ann Compton. But if you're reaching out to her for the shipment to St. Lucia, you pay a flat rate of 50 EC, right?
yes,
Okay, so I think we've covered the price. And you said the deadline for that shipment is the end of this month, the 30th of this month?
yes, you're right.
Okay, so for those of you who missed out on the bigger box, I'm feeling bad that I didn't put in my order. I wanted the bigger box, but I'm still going to be putting in my order for the book. So definitely count on me on that one. So put me in there, and that's going to be $50 EC. You don't pay for any shipping, and it's going to be delivered to you. That's a great package deal. I think that everybody listening, those of you who can reach out to others, you think that would be interested in the book, please let them know that they can get it at this great deal while stocks last, I'll say, for now, because I don't know if you'll be able to reopen that order. But until month end, until the 30th, put in your order for the book to get it at the discounted price. So definitely we will be doing that, and I do hope that those of you on the live, those of you listening on 88.5 Super FM, that you'll be definitely checking out Terry Ann Compton's page. Check out her page, That Girl Terry Ann. Now, as we're talking about social media, I want to talk a little bit about your TikTok videos. So I've been following some of it, and in those videos, you address women and you speak words of affirmation. You give them a bit of a almost like a inspiration to start out the day or to go throughout the day, depending on what time of the day you see the video. So I know that I guess that stems from your initial concept of the interviews and then from the concept of your book. So that's something I think that is going very well. Can you tell the listeners how they can find your videos on TikTok?
So, to be honest, I didn't even. Oh yes, so it's Inspire Her too. It's on TikTok. I'm not really a fan of TikTok. I just did it just so I could get the different music. Like so I actually do the video, then go to TikTok and add it to one of the
Trending
songs that
sounds.
I like. Yeah. So it's Inspire Her too.
That's the number
That's
two.
the
The
name.
word two, the number two. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, number two. Inspire Her number two. And but every time I post it, I always share it on my page as well on Facebook and WhatsApp. So yeah, so I started doing these videos because a lot of women out there, they need it. We need it. We need it. Like most times I am led to just pray for random people on my WhatsApp thing, and I would just pray and just send it to a list of selected people. And the responses I would get is like, girl, I needed that. How you know I needed that? Like, I really needed that. And some of them would cry and actually, like, you could feel what they're going through. They just need that little, like, we just need somebody to tell us something good whilst we just
Exactly.
worried and thinking like that is it and nothing is not working out and you're not doing nothing right. By just listening to somebody speaking, it can change a lot, trust me. So I started doing the videos, and I came up with the name Inspire Her too, because Janelle and I, we were trying to create an email address, and everything we put it wasn't going. So everything we put it wasn't going. So I think the first one was to inspire her. It wasn't going. So then I said, okay, let's try Inspire Her too. And that was a perfect thing, because when you had Inspire Her too, it's actually me inspiring you. So it's a reminder. Maybe you don't pray often, and I will inspire you to pray. So by me doing that, it can ring a bell like, oh yeah, I should pray, or inspire her to be brave. Some people, they're scared, they're afraid to do things for that. Most times we're scared of change is a very risky thing for a lot of people. They're afraid of change because they're already comfortable in their comfort zone.
Right. Right.
These little videos, it can, not everybody's gonna listen, because you'll not get everybody to listen. And not every sharer, sometimes even the person who shares the video, they don't even know what the video is saying, but they just share it just to show they share it. But they're still doing something good, because I might not have somebody they have on my end, and by they sharing the video, it can reach somebody else. So, it will not be everybody opening it, but the right person will open it. And that's one thing I've realized ever since doing that. I get a lot of women coming into my inbox, and they would just share, like most of them I do not know them personally, and they would reach out. I have never seen they react to my stuff on Facebook, or share my posts or anything. So that is one of the things that I learned, that it's not about the reaction and it's not about who you see. So that's where faith comes. It's what you faith, we believe, like we want to see. If we don't see something, we not believe in it. So if you trying to motivate people, and maybe you have a profile and not much people interested, you don't watch the reactions, because even those who react, they don't know anything you're talking about, but they're just reacting. But they have somebody or a few persons who is always waiting for you to inspire them. And they never tell you anything, they're just observing, you know? So it's not a matter of what you see sometimes. So, not sometimes, all the time. It's not a matter of what you see. So I get a lot of women coming to me from young to old. It doesn't matter. And they would speak and they would be like, I've been watching your videos. I've been always following you. And then, they would break down and share a lot of things. Most times they haven't shared with anybody, you know, and most of them are strangers. Most of them are strangers. Some of them I will know, but maybe I don't know you on a personal level. Like, you're not like to say my friend. You understand? So that is a good thing as well. You never know. So never think that you're not doing good enough. You're not doing good enough, or people not recognizing your work or anything. You just have to keep pushing. There is somebody looking. It can be one, it can be two. There is somebody looking. And once you get somebody looking, that means you're doing something good. So always
I
believe in yourself.
100% agree. And Terry, and I don't know if you might not believe me, but I believe that you might be saving persons' lives without even knowing. There are persons out there who might be receiving your words, receiving your book, receiving your videos, receiving something that you've put out, and it's changing their life for the better without you even knowing. So you're definitely making a big impact out there in the world without even recognizing that that's what you're doing. You're just doing what feels right to you, what God has directed you to do. And I think that's wonderful. And I definitely think that those of us listening, those of us on the live, are definitely agreeing with me. I feel like that is definitely your calling right now, and it has been put in your path for a reason. So keep it up, keep up the good work. I want to put you on the spot a little bit. I'm hoping not too much. I want to put you on the spot just a little bit. But can you do a quick inspire her too? A little impromptu prayer of sorts for the youth of Soufrière especially, and the youth of St. Lucia.
You want me to do a prayer?
Give us something like what you do in your TikTok videos. Inspire her too, and do something relating for the youth of St. Lucia.
Oh, so it can be a prayer or anything. Okay.
Yes, it can. Yes.
Okay, so today I'm just gonna inspire her to continue being the great person that you are. No matter what, things gonna happen in life, and it is what it is. Sometimes you think that what you're doing is not good enough. You think that the talent you have is not, people don't recognize you. Don't give up. Keep going. Be consistent. Keep doing it. Every day you practice, every day you train, you're gonna get better at it. Every day you invest in it, you're gonna get better at it, and better and better. So keep doing you. Don't give up. Keep pushing.
Thank you so very much, Terry Ann, for that inspiration there this afternoon. I want to give you a little bit of a laugh. Your brother said that somebody just shouted his mother to buy a book by the road. So you might have to set up a book stand in Palmis because persons want to buy the book already. So So big up to Donatan, and big up to Miss Kulina of Palmis. Big up to all of our great talents down the road. We know we have such great budding talent in that community. That is
Yes, very.
definitely not a doubt. We have another message here from Mr. Godwin Prosper. He said, I'm proud of Terry Ann Compton, one of my bold students. She has inspired even me to revisit some of my ideas. So Terry Ann, there you go. You're inspiring everybody this afternoon. I want to let all our listeners know, persons who are interested in asking any questions. We have a few minutes left with Terry Ann. Post your questions now so that we can ask her live on air. Come onto the Facebook live chat if you're not there yet and you want to ask a question of Terry Ann while we have her on. We want to give a shout out to those of you on the chat. Good evening to you, Krishna Alexander. Good evening, Geraldine Taylor. She said that you're such a brave human being, Terry Ann. Good evening to Miss Cheryl Maffray, Wayne Samuel. Good evening to you, Venancia Mitchell. Welcome to Mr. Bill Stanislas on our live. We have a Lisa James who asked about the cost of the book. So Lisa, once again, the cost of the book is, if you order in the package from Terry Ann that will be coming down to St. Lucia, it is 50 EC. So if you want it at that cost, you can reach out to her on her Facebook page, which is That Girl Terrian, spelled Terian, or Terrian Compton, Compton spelled Compton, or it is available on Amazon for $21.99 US. And that is the title of the book is Inspire, I Overcame by Terrian Compton. So you have options in how you can get your book. So those of you interested in pre-ordering that, you'll be getting it in the first week of June for $50. Please reach out to Terrian at the earliest before the deadline is up, which is the 30th of this month. Okay, we have Wilma Andrew saying, keep up the good work, Terrian Compton. And Kamani, who says, strong, phenomenal women. I agree with you, Kamani. That is definitely what a definite product of St. Lucia, product of Soufre, product of Palmis. Definitely a strong, phenomenal woman in Mysterian Compton. So those of you with any questions, I think Lisa James is trying to track down your profile on Facebook. She wants to know what your picture is. I think it's you in a red dress, right, Terrian? So
Yes,
Lisa, if you're looking at the screen now, it should look like exactly what Terrian looks like on screen, but wearing red. So she's trying to track you down. We have persons definitely trying to get in touch with you in terms of getting access to this book. Remember, the book is called Inspire, I Overcame. Terrian, I want you to take a moment while we're waiting to see if anybody is going to post any questions in the live chat. Give a shout out to all those persons who you want to credit for your success. Take a moment and give all the shout outs you want.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to give a big shout out to the Almighty Father, because because if it wasn't for Him, then I wouldn't know how far I would get, or I wouldn't know how strong I would. So He's the first person that I wanna thank, and everything aligning with that is still from Him. I wanna give a big shout out to Brother Mark and Sister Lizel for for inspiring me, and getting me more connected, more in faith and in prayers, because trust me, I was very, very shy to pray before, especially like for people. So you will get me doing that a lot, because I want to practice more and more and more, like because that's something I've been praying to God about, that I want to become a prayer warrior. And I want to thank them for that, for just helping me along that way. I want to thank Sister Lizel. Sorry, not Sister Lizel, I said her already. Sister Janelle Knight, for for working with me and helping me complete this. I want to thank her for all the time and patience. I want to big up my family, my mom, my mom, Colina Joseph, my grandmother, Marina, Lucienne, my brother, Donatan, my next brother, Jean-Mal. I have 5 brothers, so 2 by my mother. But that's like within my closest family. The others is by my father. I want to big up my daughter for giving me the strength and for being the reason why I always want to push. I want to shout out to my boyfriend for giving me the strength and always, working with me side by side, even if he's not that social media type, and but he is very supportive. And then I just want to thank him for being side by side as well. I want to thank everybody, everybody who played a part, everybody who is sharing, everybody who reminds me of how much good that I am doing out there. Everybody who ordered a book, everybody who ordered a package, even if you shared the flyer, even if you told somebody, thank you in every way. Thank you in every way, because all of these things is still support. You do not have to buy a book, a physical book, to say that you're supporting, by just sharing the word and telling a friend. And that's, I appreciate it very, very, very much.
Wow, thank you so very much, Terry. And my final question for you for this evening: what is next for you now that the book is coming out? What's next for Terry and Compton?
What's next for me? So what's next for me is doing what God wants me to do. So He wants me to continue on the path where I, continue inspiring people. And, as I go day by day, I would become better and better, where I will have the platform to do things much better and impact many lives and remind people of his love as well, remind people of the strength of what they can do, all of these things. And I also want to turn my book into a movie. So that is another part of the book that is in plan. Still, like, we still, it's not something that is already finalized, but that is part of the plan to turn the book into a movie. So they have so many things that I want to do, but as God aligns, I want to go as His will, and do what He's asking.
Sounds great. We have a few persons giving you a lot of shout outs. I'm just gonna call out the names instead of reading all the messages. So we have Marky Emmanuel, Geraldine Taylor, Deborah Joseph, Janelle Knight, Bernadette Maffrin, John Paul Isidore, Antonia Herman, and Lizelle Francois Toussaint, Cheryl William, Genevieve Joseph, and Cassandra Paul. So all these persons are giving you wonderful messages. When you get a chance, you might have to go back and read all the kudos and the big ups and the bless yous that you're getting in the chat. So once again, Terry Ann Compton, thank you so very much for coming on, talking about your book, Inspire, I Overcame. And also check her out on social media at Terry Ann Compton or That Girl Terry Ann. Also on TikTok with Inspire Her 2. That's with the number 2, so that you can get your daily doses of inspiration. And I think you might have to reopen those packages because persons are asking for the prayer cards for their persons, Terry Ann. So you might have to reconsider opening that. Yes, I think we definitely have we're saying someone we're getting Oprah Winfrey vibe. So you're definitely gonna have to start a book club. You're going to have a TV show. You're going to have to do bigger and better things,
Oh,
keep making
yes.
us proud. And want to thank you once again for joining us on Let's Connect.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. So before we sign out, I want to take a moment to announce that on May 1st, Sunday, May 1st, the Honorable Emma Hippolyte is going to be hosting a Labor Day rally. So for all persons who celebrate Labor Day, that's the day where you celebrate the fact that you're a worker, please come down to the Sufra Market from 1 p.m. That's we're going to be celebrating the best way we can with a rally for Labor Day. I think I also have another message here. Let me just verify. Also, on May 2nd, there is a cycle for peace taking place. I'm just going to, it's 6 a.m. from the Sufre Square. The theme is white. So the first leg is Sufre to Miku. Second leg will be Miku to Cul-de-sac. Third leg, Cul-de-sac to Sufre. It's a full circuit around the island. So ending at the Sufre Beach Park. That's on May 2nd, Cycle for Peace, starting at 6 a.m. So May 1st, we have the rally, the Labor Day rally at the market taking place from 1 p.m. And then on May 2nd, Cycle for Peace starting at 6 a.m. from Sufre and doing a full circuit around the island. So looking forward to these activities as we begin the month of May. And with this, we're going to end off our program tonight. And also, this is the last program for the Youth Month so far. But the Youth Month Committee does have a few more activities coming up. They will be taking place in May, so look out for those as well. Until then, join us next week, Tuesday, for more Let's Connect.